Hi all and welcome back YouTubers to my channel of an Everyday Life of an Aspie. If you just landed on my page for whatever reason, I hope that for whatever reason it may be it if it's self-educating, mentoring or some form of support or what have you, that you'll enjoy some of the pieces that I share with you all. I'm all about basically creating mental health and awareness versus just sharing my life stories of Asperger's syndrome, OCD and all the like, along with basically also tips and advice along the way for your general health versus your mental health, and also the list goes on with a bit of fun and games along the way of wherever my journey will take me. So if you're into any of these, smash the like button, feel free to comment below, and feel free to just turn on the notification bell when you do tend to want to join me on this journey. So as you're aware, basically at this point of time, regardless of my absence, that I'm going to try and bring out as many videos that I can, be it entertainment, be it general health versus your mental health versus my life story with Asperger's syndrome, or just tips and tricks along the way with some of the words of encouragement, whatever it may be. I hope that it will be broken down to us this week and the next, because as I said, I'm hoping in my schedule that I'll bring out as much variation for you all regardless, because we will need to educate and uplift ourselves regardless where we are at this point of time. So this one's another CF series. Obviously, as I said, I'm hoping to build up as many series as possible, be it whatever it may be, so hopefully we can learn from each other and educate from each other, because some of these conditions that we hear about don't obviously get fully recognised and actually end up not being promoted or self-aware or whatever by raising awareness somehow. So that's why I'm here today, to try and do as much as I can. Now, this one's going to be called what people with CF would want us to know about, about them while they're suffering. As we know, as a given, basically, that it will vary from person to person with CF, however. So this one, obviously, I'd like to share with you all today 15 statements that people with CF would like us to know and understand more about their condition. As a disclaimer, if you hear any statistics or facts that aren't, based in around my country, especially in New Zealand, since it's limited, there'll be basically some that will be further branched out to, worldwide in Aussie, UK, or in America. And also, as another form of disclaimer before we begin this, that you've got to remember that I'm no medical doctor, so if you see any warning signs and symptoms in regards to any of the past or present videos, regardless what it may be, seek professional help for yourself or your loved one, or seek professional opinion for yourself and loved one, because I don't forever condone self-harm. So let's begin this. Right. So number one of the statements was, it isn't just a bad cough. As I said so many times before about CF, if you haven't, I'll link it in the description below about the updated version of CF, that persistent coughing is just one of the main symptoms that in itself that can actually be there at present, but then there are other underlying symptoms as well. This is due to the build up, obviously, as we know, due to the mucus that's really sticky and wet, and that it builds up onto the lungs, into the alveoli tree and whatnot in the respiratory tract, that makes it harder for that person to breathe, and there are other body organs that are usually effective, and one of the key ones is the pancreas, due to basically the one I'm looking for is that in that digestive system is pancreatic insufficiency, where they tend to become malnourished, and that certain amount of levels of certain element that is important for our diet really affects them. This also goes for basically the digestive system can get affected because of the mucus buildup as well, and this will be make it really difficult for the ones with CF for them to process the food and digest it down, and they'll have to take certain enzymes to help them break down those bits that are struggling with like I said, I'll link some more of this information, because most of that will be in the more detailed one in that video all about CF, the updated version, which will be linked in the description as well as in the iCard above. Yes. So number 2 is a genetic disorder, and around 1 in 25 of the UK population carries the gene. Again, this will be based on the new updated video, but then I'll be bringing out a little review on my next video over. Number 3, there are consequences too. Virtually all men of CF are usually infertile. On the other hand, women with CF basically are usually able to have children, but it will be more likely risky for them on their part because of them being underweight. It can be a bit dangerous, but then they can play it safe as well. In daily meds with people with CF, usually when it comes down to it, people see a psychotherapist to just, remove that mucus build-up. Number 4 is not infectious. Obviously, you can't catch it unless you suffer from CF and have different bacteria strains. Because many people with CF has different bacteria strains of it, and some are stronger than others. Then it is advisable, however, with the ones that do have CF, CF to CF contact, to try and isolate themselves as much as possible. Number 5 is an invisible illness. Like many illnesses or medical conditions I've been bringing up, be it whatever it may be, this one's an invisible illness and you won't be known. The reason why I call it an invisible illness, I've said this so many times before, is because at the end of the day, as we see it, how it is like many of the symptoms that we take for granted or have recurring symptoms of certain things that goes on, be it CF or the other conditions that I've been sharing with you, all carry the same symptoms, but then sometimes they develop at a later date. Sometimes some of the symptoms that we share hearsay. Number 6, it's incredibly lonely for the ones with CF. It's a given, obviously, because for them, they would like to make friends, and sometimes with the way their everyday is, with the continuous coughing and the uptake of their everyday, doing their everyday thing, whatever it may be, it tends to just go hand in hand that they don't have much contact maybe in the outside world with people around them, even though, it'd be nice just to maybe just get to know these people when we meet these people. 7, diagnoses are hard to come across. As I said before, certain symptoms will come about later on in life, and sometimes doctors will find it hard to trace what it is and how it affects them. Number 8, CF does affect every part of the day for the ones that do suffer it. But some of them CF sufferers I've been watching on YouTube, especially the Fry Life and some other one, I can't remember her name on the top of it. They take it day by day and they say that every day is a blessing while they're alive, and they're just taking it as every day as it comes, not to let their CF get the best of them. Like, we should learn a lesson or two maybe from the ones that suffer from CF. Number 9, exercise is really important. Living life to the fullest, keeping well and fit and healthy goes hand in hand for everybody, not just people with CF, however. Correct combining of different types of fitness, nutrition, and the rest with meds is also important. Number 10, as is eating a ginormous amount of calories. As we know, basically, for people with CF, they tend to lose a lot of salt and some other important nutrients, as I said. And due to their type of diet, regardless what it may be, they have to have a high intake of a certain amount of foods to try and, up and increase their calorie intake. And in saying that, they'll have to compensate again with the different pills as well, of whatever it may be it the enzyme ones and everything else that helps all their body organs to work together as a whole. Number 11, when you have CF, you get organised quickly. Obviously, with CF sufferers, I've noticed that some of them are really organised, especially when it comes down to taking their daily meds, regardless what it may be, that they just go through their day, living it, and it's organised in a particular style. 12, learning is all about learning about their body more. Obviously, when you have CF, you know when it's going to come or not with your persistent cough, or in the daily that something's not right with the body. So living it day to day, obviously something's up, and sometimes even if you're not a medical doctor and your own stuff, what's best for yourself, obviously. But I'm not to say just to dismiss by not seeing the doctor at all, not far from it. Obviously, in this part I'm sharing is you gotta know what you're doing. Number 13, you can be diagnosed at any age. CF can affect people at any age, regardless what it may be. It can be a young child, like at a primary school age, from adult. Number 14, everyone's typical day is and will be different. It's the no-brainer. People see it and everyone else, it's a different day. Some will have persistent coughing, some will not. Some will basically just live their day-to-day life with maybe just a few days here and there in the hours, coughing in the morning, coughing at night maybe, or vice versa, and they might be fine one day and the next they'll just be thing. Number 15 is the last and important one to address to you is the best support you can give the people with CF is to be considerate and patient with them regardless of what their day brings. So this quickly ends a real quick short overview of the 15 things of what people with CF wants us to know. Smash the like button, comment below. Feel free to share your life story if you want to down below on how you deal with CF every day and maybe what you want people to know about if you do suffer from it. So I'm not further ado, guys. Thanks for support. Thanks for watching. Do what you love what you do. Until next time, Aspie signing out, and I'll see you again soon. Ciao for now.